See if it plays it. You know, it was funny. I was actually trying to set up the music here, and that's not going to work. You know, it was funny. I was actually trying to. And you might have just heard an echo there, but I thought I'd go live a little early, but this will give you. Just thought about it. We're going to do a pre-show, so anybody gives people time to roll in. You know, I can chit chat a little bit before the show. Not that I'm going to be busy doing the show. I'll be talking here. All right. So I see Bills is here already. So it's good to see you. Missed you last night. I understand why. So yeah, I was trying to set up some music earlier, but it's still not working the way I used to have it when I was just doing one episode, one channel. When I was doing it strictly through Twitch and OBS, I had it just right. I don't know what's going on. So I don't even know why I had these headphones on, but I put them on anyway. I mean, looks good. Not like I'm gonna be producing any sound out of it. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, it's best to definitely let time heal all things. That's the way I that's my usual tactic is if the situation is too heated or if it's just too much or whatever the case may be, if it's beyond my control, I tend to just let it dissipate. Be like the police, let the first 20 seconds go and then put the handcuffs on them yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. But the main thing is that people just have to take a step back when stuff like that happens. So, all right. So what time is it? About 4 minutes. Let's talk about Kevin Durant for a second in this little pre-show. So no one has asked. So that tree fell in the forest and didn't make a sound. Speaking of stuff that made plenty of sound, but no one saw it fall, was Kevin Durant basically cursing out Michael Rappaport. Yeah, that was quite the cursing out. I'm telling you, when you start off, and first of all, I shout out to all my folks in PG County and the DMV minus Baltimore. Yeah, shouts out to you guys out in Baltimore too. But everyone knows DMV doesn't include Baltimore, so facts. Anyway, so all of PG County apparently came out on Kevin Durant. Out of Kevin Durant, not on him, out of him, as he proceeded to just go in on Michael Rappaport. I thought it was hilarious. Some people are taking it seriously, including Michael Rappaport, in which he got a lawyer and is hiding behind his lawyer. So, that's all I know is that when someone goes, and it's funny because Kevin Durant doesn't just attack people. Let's just get this straight. If you put energy out there, be prepared for that energy to come back tenfold, especially if you're wrong. And Rappaport put out something. I don't know what it was, but it caught the wrath of Kevin. It caught Kevin Durant's eyes, ears, or whatever, and Michael had to feel the wrath. So, obviously, there's no one-for-one comparison. Yeah, because it was in the DMs, but I'm like looking at that. Michael definitely has the tendency to talk shit, and when somebody comes back at him, he runs to Ma. He's like, "Hey Ma, they going after me again." Yeah, he thought it was black until somebody came back at him. That's what it was. So, but whenever you start off the sentence, "You a bitch," then yeah, that's pretty much the end of that person who's about to be torn up to shreds. Because you, again, and I don't know if this is like a DMV thing or whatever, but all I know from my experience, somebody comes at you and just starts off, "You a bitch," they're about to go in. You know what it is. Let me see. Yeah, honestly, there was some bitch shit that Michael Rappaport did. Reveal the DMs, because that's like the number one rule these days. We got bitch made people that reveal DMs for really no reason. Like they think that they're safe by revealing DMs. So, all right, it's enough about that. We're about to get into this show real quick. Trying to figure out, should I do the countdown? Oh hell, why not? I know you guys enjoy this little countdown that I do, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, what time is it? 8:00. All right, here we go. We are back after about 2 weeks. Episode 21, season 3 has begun of What the Fuck Just Happened. And 2 weeks has gone by. A lot of shit happened, but we are definitely going to focus on really one item, but it's going to be, a couple of things that really have caught my eye, because I know we have the NCAA tourney going on, had some shenanigans. I know we kind of talked about that last night on First and Frame Rates. And I know I've been just watching film, watching movies, playing games. The Scum update 0.5, and just to let everybody know, Scum is in early access. So when I say 0.5, it's definitely in early access designation. So that came out today. No Man's Sky dropped an update today. A whole bunch of shit going on. Apparently, they're trying to compare Quavo to Ray Rice, which when I looked at that footage, there's no one-for-one comparison on that. Kevin Durant, as I was discussing with Bills, who was in the chat, in the pre-show, I'm not going to highlight any comments, but I will we'll be chatting with everybody that shows up to the pre-show for the chat. And Kevin Durant going into Michael Rappaport. And Michael Rappaport got a lawyer and revealed the DMs like a bitch. So with that being said, I'm going to ask the question I always ask at the beginning of every show, and I need to stop bobbing my head because that was one of the things I noticed that I do too much. Pause. But so why are we here? We're here because we are here to talk about. Hopefully I spelled that right. Yep, I did. Justice League. Yes, this is going to be a Justice League type conversation, and we're going to follow it up with another DC comic-esque video that dropped in the 2 weeks that I wasn't live or whatever. And it was called Dying is Easy, made by the folks at batinthesun over on YouTube. They make great content. I would definitely recommend you guys go over there. They pretty much, most of the videos I was watching, including with some of these little short films that they do battle mashups. So you'll see like X-Men, you'll see Wolverine versus Batman, Darth Vader versus Batman. They did at one point. I don't know if they did Lara Croft. I don't think they did Lara Croft versus Nathan Drake, but I know they also did Joker versus who's that character from The Walking Dead? I can't. Negan. There you go. So they did that, and the guy who plays the Joker is probably one of the top Jokers you'll see. If there was like a Mount Rushmore and you had to put a fifth person in there, he would be that. I think it's Aaron Shonky is his name. He would be that guy. So that's why we're here. So we're going to be talking about those two. So let's like I'm generating any money from this, but we got to pay the bills. So let me, if you want to, and just to put it out there, I am 1/3 of a panel that goes live every Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, called First and Frame Rates. It's myself, VF, and Bill's Forth, and as everyone already knows, Bill Forth is taking a vacation, so he'll be back as soon as he's ready to come back. Much like I took my 2 weeks off from here, and now I'm back. So we talk about sports and video gaming over on that channel, and that channel is a VF Baller's channel. So definitely go check us out over there. Very entertaining crew. We're uncensored, unbothered, and untethered. So that's the way we work. And then for those that are on YouTube, if you want to follow me on Twitch, is my Twitch channel. And then those that are on Twitch, do you want to see my YouTube channel? This is where I'm at on YouTube. And if you want to conversate with me, you'll find me more likely at Twitch, causing trouble or, indulging in some whatever. And if you want to check out any of my writings and the playlist, the YouTube playlist to this show, What the Fuck Just Happened, go to my blog site. It's at dj81.org. And let's start the show. Do. Nah, I ain't doing that because I get some type of copyright if I did something like that. So how do we transfer over to, let me just bring this title back up. Let me hide that. The Snyder cut. So we're going to do a bit of a transition here. I'm operating off of OBS. with the virtual cam. So if this is not smooth, I don't know what to tell you, but we're going to do it like this. Boom, here we are. We're here. So, Zack Snyder's Justice League was released, last week, I believe? I would say last week. To a standing ovation. Not bad for a movie that's 4 hours and 2 minutes long. I remember many of the complaints before this movie even released was that, oh, it's too long. I know originally it was supposed to be about 4 parts. It turns out to be 6 in an epilogue, and it's long, but honestly, it didn't feel like it. I felt like they did this movie justice. They did the characters justice. They did DC Comics. Well, not they, because obviously Warner Brothers didn't want this to come out. They went with Joss Whedon because they wanted the Marvel universe to appear in DC Comics, in which you got the Justice League, which came out, I think, was it 2017? And you know, as much as there were folks that liked that version, this one kills it. It's like the Joss Whedon version of Justice League does not exist to me anymore. And the main thing that I got from this movie was that, just to reiterate, all the characters were done right. Characters were expounded upon. You got to see a bit of the backstories of, I think any and all the characters that didn't have a solo movie at the time, that technically in 2017 they didn't have. I'm like, Aquaman didn't have a movie at that point. Who else didn't have a movie? Definitely Cyborg didn't have a movie. And we've seen like 2 iterations of Flash that don't really count. So we're getting another Flash. And of course, everyone knows Superman, everyone knows Batman, everyone knows Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman had a nice little origin and in the first Wonder Woman movie, but 1984 doesn't exist to me. That was I don't know what happened on that one. I didn't like that one. So, not gonna spoil anything in this because I understand there are people that have not seen this yet. So not gonna talk about what happens during the movie. Just kind of gloss over certain things. I know that the tone of the movie is very different. I will tell you this: the tone of Justice League, the Zack Snyder version, is much more serious. And I think a lot of folks, even myself, knew this before he was let go way back when. I think he had experienced a tragedy, lost his daughter, and then the execs over at Warner Brothers, they fired him. And then they brought on Joss Whedon. I guess it's Josh. I don't care what his name is. They brought him on because they were familiar with his work from, what was it? The Avengers. Which one was it? The one, I can't even remember the name of the one that he did. But they brought him on, and that Justice League in 2017 resembled a Marvel movie. Had a lot of jokes, quips, one-liners, some dirty gags, like the one part where Flash trips and falls on top of Wonder Woman. That was awkward as fuck, even though I'm down for a good joke and a gag or whatever. But that was just outright just like unnecessary. You didn't really need that. I'm like, when I think of the Justice League, I think of the animated series that I grew up on, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. I wasn't really into the comics, so I'm more like the television show, like the Batman animated series, Batman Beyond, Superman animated series, the crossover episodes. You can go back even further than that. The Adam West Batman, the Christopher Reeve Superman, to see all the Supermans, including the Donner cut of Superman 2. And even seeing that trash, which was Superman Returns, with I guess his name is Brandon Roth. So yeah, it was a train wreck, that Justice League. So now that Zach has his version out, we definitely, and just looking at the picture, that already is a serious tone. I'm like, you look at this picture, you're not thinking none of them looks like they're gonna joke. It looks like none of them are gonna give you that silly ass one liner. Doesn't look like, and it seems like all of them have a bone to pick, and all of them have scars that they're healing from. I'm like, even to the point where Superman, everyone knows this, so this is not a spoiler, has the black cape. It's the black version of the Superman suit, which everybody was looking forward to until Zack Snyder got fired. So the color palette was a little bit different. So let me see which character I want to highlight first. So seriousness of this movie was awesome. Loved it. All right. So as I was saying about Superman suit, now tell me this Superman ain't serious about what he's about to do next. His eyes are glowing. He's about to fire on somebody. But like I was saying, you're like, where the fuck is everyone? Comes back. Oh, they were here for you, but apparently you left. So I'm about, where the fuck is everybody? So yeah, Superman definitely, just like everything else, had a more serious tone. His story in this was expanded upon, and there was like little details that they added in, and there was also another backstory which leads to a character reveal of sorts. So definitely, ew. This man said he had to clean his dirty ass contacts. And what else? Updated my phone during that time. Oh, okay. But yeah. So definitely Superman's character was a lot better in this one. He didn't have anything corny to say. He just got straight to the point when he finally appeared. And also that fight scene that everybody's seen in Justice League, that's a little bit longer and has a better tone, serious tone to it than originally in the Justice League. All right, so Flash, the joke character of the Justice League, definitely Zack Snyder did this man justice. There were certain things that I don't think they should have taken out of Joss Whedon's. I don't even remember it. I keep forgetting this dude's name. Joss's Justice League, but felt like didn't need to be added, and Zack Snyder did exactly that. He didn't add some of the stuff that surrounded. He definitely took away a lot of the unnecessary silliness that was surrounding the Flash. Like I said earlier, you seen the one in 2017 falls on top of Wonder Woman, and yeah, that was stupid. So I'm glad Zack took that out. You know, there's definitely a more serious tone with overall theme. Again, seriousness. Just, you know, there's an awkward. I'm like, he displays awkward tendencies. I'm like, he is a nerd. I know some of the complaints that I've seen online. Oh, I don't like the way he runs. I'm like, first of all, he's not even athletic. I know that sometimes in the animated series he's athletic, but we're talking about in the animated series, he understands his power, knows how to use it, blah, 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 blah. You know, there you go. But we're dealing with a character that is obviously nerdy and unathletic, that is just getting used to his powers, is at the beginning. So he definitely has a full character arc in this one. Wonder Woman. Why did 1984 have to come out? And just this first scene alone in Justice League did her justice. You didn't have to feature anything with her in the rest of this movie anymore, but the bank scene, you guys get a chance, definitely just watch it. The tone definitely more different than the Justice League. So definitely it was different. Wonder Woman was given true justice. She had a more serious tone. She had this. There was this one little detail that I thought was, she first of all, Gal Gadot is sexy as fuck. That's all I can say that. But she does this head tilt when she's serious about something that she tells you she just means business. So watch out. But yeah, Zach did her justice as well. Aquaman. Now, I grew up with Aquaman being the butt of every joke. Wasn't really into Aquaman. I just knew that he liked to talk to fish. It was funny associated with looking at Aquaman. And you go back to Justice League in 2017, he continued to be the joke. Oh, what's up, bro? Oh, we gotta watch out for fishes, bro. He drinking all the time and I'm like, and then he's one line from all that stuff that he was saying, I think remained, but you definitely saw his full character arc, which I think at this point now you've watched Aquaman, and I haven't watched it. I need to watch Aquaman, the movie. And now you see a kind of full character arc, more serious tone with him than you did with the Justice League. And just to tell you the truth, Justice League, the way they put the characters out there was like a full rush to try to catch up with Marvel. That shit wasn't working. So, but, kudos to Zack Snyder again, full character arc on Aquaman there. Batman. Justice League, they treated this man like a bitch. Everyone, I've watched people's reviews of it. Everyone looked at, first of all, he's darker in this one. The one in Justice League in 2017, he's blue. I'm like, I don't want to see any more blue-colored Batmans ever again in my life. I grew up with the blue-colored ones. I like the darker, blacker ones, and the suicidal ones better. So definitely they did him justice. They made him more. I'm like, he was already important in the one in 2017, but they definitely expanded upon how important he is in this whole thing, because Batman always gets these W's. You understand? Always gets these W's. But anyway, this is the character, Ray Fisher. My man did it. And Zack Snyder made it come to reality. This man's character arc was the best character arc in the whole movie. It gave you a reason. It gave you a more realistic reason why he was there. He wasn't just there because he was pretty much walking advanced ever dynamic technology. There's a human amongst that walking pile of bolts and ever-changing body and everything, mind. I'm like, and also at the same time, that the fact that this man has a high IQ. I'm like, him and the Flash, I think are the smartest on that team. Flash and Cyborg. And again, as an African American male, bravo, great role model to see on the screen. And he was very generous at some points in the movie. So I swear. Imagine sitting for 4 hours and you get to this man's part of the movie. Because when they break down the parts, they definitely give each character their moments. And can't say enough about that. Now to the villains. We're just going to highlight two of them because That's how I remember this slideshow goes. I definitely like this version of Steppenwolf than the humanized one in the 2017 version. This one definitely was more threatening. Also, just to let you guys know, the movie was R-rated, so he was decapitating folks, stabbing folks, killing, stealing, doing what they do in Chicago all the time. But yeah, he definitely was more threatening, and he had to be dealt with. That's they couldn't just look at him and laugh like they did in the first one. The first one, the 2017 version, looked like Bob Stoops with a helmet on. That's what that Steppenwolf looked like. So I was not feeling that Steppenwolf at all, and which would lead me to why the Snyderverse needs to be continued. This man, I've been watching DC Comics from way back when, and only in the animated series, because I didn't read the comics, was the time I got to view Darkseid, and Darkseid was that character. Now, here's the thing. Remember, you have your main villains, but because Superman, it's funny because Darkseid was one. Of course, Superman's main arch enemy was Lex Luthor. But there's Darkseid. There's also Brainiac. I would have liked, if I had a chance to ask Zack Snyder, when was Brainiac going to be introduced? I would hope he would have some twist on how Brainiac becomes involved. I feel like instead of according to interviews, the way he would have continued, Flash would have been the main one to reverse things. I felt like Brainiac had that ability. I don't think a lot of people are familiar with I can't remember the name of the show, but it's Krypton. That's the name of the show, Krypton. And Brainiac is at the center of this show, featuring the Zods, General Zod. Apparently, in the way the way that Krypton works is that this takes place generations before Superman. This is like Superman's great grandfather running around trying to save his home planet from Brainiac. And for some reason, General Zod comes back in time, and he comes face to face with his own mother and grandmother, and it's just crazy how the storyline works in that one. But Brainiac was a force in that show, and I would have loved if Zack Snyder would have introduced him to the Snyderverse, because Darkseid was the threatening figure that I've pictured him to be. And so I would say overall, definitely recommend watching Justice League, the Snyder Cut version. Again, it's about 4 hours and 2 minutes long. The soundtrack was pretty good, and I can't say enough. I'm like, this was good for DC Comics, but apparently not good enough for Warner Brothers. For Warner Media, because right now they have a fight on their hands as we speak. I think they've done a couple of interviews where they have just outright just said, "Hey, we're not going to continue. We're not going to. We allowed this to happen. You guys got what y'all wanted. Now we're going to move on. We're going to. I think they're going to reboot everybody. All the characters are going to get rebooted, and the crowd doesn't want to. They don't want that to happen. They don't want this to happen. They don't want Henry Cavill recasted. They don't want like Ben Affleck's already been recasted, but they want him brought back. They want everybody to return, And right now, I know Warner Media, they had this little internal investigation because Ray Fisher, let me just go back. Ray Fisher put it out there that there was some racism going on among Joss Whedon and management. That was the reason why Cyborg got cut. Most of Cyborg's backstory got cut out from the first one. So there was a reason why he really didn't take a liking to being in that first movie and why he spoke out about it. He was very public about this investigation. They called the Justice League investigation or whatnot. But, kudos to him for speaking out and, just calling it out, because apparently Joss Whedon in other movies doesn't have people of color in his movies, or if there is one, gives it a stereotypical or a non-role in the movie. So what gets killed off? So yeah. And it was just Joss Whedon. I think it was others in management, and Ray Fisher wanted to just let everyone know that, hey, it's not just Joss, it's the others around him that also are partaking in that. So, but we can go off of that, and we can actually, there's another brand that is producing DC Comic-esque short films. Let's go back as I navigate through this. And we will go to Dying is Easy. This is coming from the folks over at batinthesun on YouTube. They made a short film that came out on the 10th. Again, the name of it is Dying is Easy. Let me go ahead. By the folks over at batinthesun. And basically what this short film was about was basically a head-to-head confrontation between Batman and the Joker, centered around the three missing cops. And this, I was talking about Mount Rushmore earlier of Jokers, and saying that, I guess, let me see, let me make sure. Yep. And Aaron Shonky plays the Joker. He plays an excellent Joker. I'm like, I've seen all types of Jokers. I've seen the one that was playing next to Adam West. I didn't like that one. Always laughing. I forgot who he was. Like in real life, his name was Jack Nicholson in the '89 Batman. Mark Hamill as the voice of the Joker in the animated series. Obviously, I was just looking at him earlier, who was playing the Joker. He passed away after making one other film. That Joker was definitely a top two Joker amongst, at the time, I was thinking Nicholson and Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger's Joker was really, I could put Heath Ledger's Joker number one. But Aaron Shonky definitely plays a great Joker and deserves to be in the top 5 as far as all the Jokers that have been. But on the opposite side of him, bravo to Kevin Porter. This man does an excellent job as Batman / Bruce Wayne. Now, this one, you don't see the Bruce Wayne aspect, but you see Batman, and you see him as the detective that a lot of times you don't really see in the movies. You'll see it in animated series a lot more than you'll see it in the mainstream movies. But the folks over at batinthesun, first of all, this didn't even look like a low budget affair. This looked like this was a mainstream movie. The background, the lighting, the atmosphere, the script was awesome. I can't say enough about those guys. They've been working together for years. I think Kevin Porter has been playing this version of Batman for 19 years now. So I believe Kevin Porter deserves to be up there with with Michael Keaton, with Kevin Conroy. Trying to figure out. I can't remember. It's funny when you think about the Batmans, the one you really want to like hone in on, you can't remember his name. But of course, Michael Keaton, Kevin Conroy. I had a whole bunch of names of all the Batmans that that I had up there, and I can't remember that one. And obviously Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck did a great job as Batman, but it's always that one that I'm missing. He was actually, I thought he was the best Batman of all. I can't even remember his name. That's sad. So, but Kevin Porter definitely deserves to be up there as the actor that has played Batman in any shape or form. I don't know about the other Batmen that were in the other ones. I don't even pay attention to the ones that voice act the ones that are not Kevin Conroy. It's not Kevin Conroy. I'll watch it, but I won't really take it seriously. So, but I definitely recommend this short film made by the folks over at batinthesun. I think it was excellent quality, excellent production, great story, and a couple of cameos from famous actors. So you may not have seen these guys in a while, but there's quite a few, and you get other cameos of other villains. So I definitely recommend this as a must watch on the YouTube playlist. So again, shout out to the folks over at batinthesun. That's their YouTube channel name. I definitely recommend go there, subscribe, and check out their content. They have a lot of good shit, and they've done it for years. So shout out to them. All right, so we fairly just went through all that real quick. So who is out there? And okay, so I see. Let me go to the chat because obviously I was like, just to let you know, out of all transparency, I was ignoring the chat because I wanted to get through this part because I know I originally said this was it was going to be a Justice League, Dying is Easy, Batman Joker type of show, but we got time. Got time today. All right, so what's going on? So Bills has been the only one talking in the chat. I don't, and it's funny. I don't care to reveal all that. Like I said, totally transparent. So if one person's talking in the chat, one person talking in the chat. It's only three people here, and one of them, I think it's on my own phone back there. But anyway, so okay, so apparently something that's happening on TNT. So QT Marshall is. I thought QT was the one that was supposed to turn on Cody and not the other way around. So Cody turned on QT Marshall. Is that what's going on? Bills. I'm just highlight what he's been saying. See, if you can get this guy to say wow, then you did something because this guy is not easy to impress at all when it comes to like. And I ain't talk. Oh, your prediction was wrong. Let's see. Oh, so you thought Cody was going to turn? It was funny because if you watched previously, QT was the one that was supposed to turn. So that's crazy. So all right, so talk a little bit more about the update that dropped. Oh, he cheap shot at Arn Anderson. That one-armed bastard. With the bad arm. That's why I thought they were going to swerve people. Oh, I see. But okay, so I was playing Scum earlier, and the 0.5 update dropped. And I must say, game looks drastically different than what I originally played it. And let me see if I can. Oh, that's the only thing. It'll only pop up video files. I was gonna share a screenshot that I have a whole bunch posted. And no, I have a whole bunch saved in my hard drive. Dustin got juice. Oh, so they busted Dustin open. Those that don't know, juice is usually an insider word for bleeding. He's bloodied or whatever. So, but yeah, the game Scum looks totally different. The water, it looks different. The environment, the pretty much the sun actually rises and sets in the correct locations. There's fish now. You can actually go fishing. The water has been reworked, the water physics. And according to the developers, they said that the water is going to go according to the wind. It's not going to necessarily power drive on the steps. Damn. I'm missing some good shit then. So the water is going along with the wind and the storm and the stuff like that. So I'm like, I haven't. They say they added in sharks, and I haven't ventured out in the water. You can actually make rafts, paddle boats. You can come across some that are just sitting there. Trying to figure out. There was some other updates that they said that they are still working on, like the metabolism was supposed to arrive with 0.5, but the way it was presented was like it was all together, but they had to clear it up, I think, around the last second and said that, hey, this is not an update that's with 0.5. So I think some people were definitely disappointed to hear that, but you know, it's one of those things where metabolism is a central aspect of the game, and you need to get that right before you push any updates out. So they say they have some stuff coming that's going to overhaul the whole metabolism system there. But folks that have not played this game, I definitely recommend that you guys, if you get a chance to get it dirt cheap, get it, and definitely give it a try. It does have a single player server that you can go on, so you can get used to it and just learn the game before you go into the multiplayer servers. Because I know most of these games, like DayZ, Survive the Night, there's a couple of other ones. I think 7 Ways to Die. I think that's one that does have a single player server, but some of those, it wasn't meant to play single player wise. So you would, with Scum, you have a chance to practice and then go out there afterwards, go on the wild. And and I've done a couple of multiplayer servers. I haven't come across any other human players. No, actually, that's a lie. I came across one, and I guess he was just scurrying through town because I was in one of the buildings and I heard footsteps and I looked outside and seen somebody just quickly go, just skedaddle by. So I was trying to track him to see where he went and disappeared. So I'll probably hop on the multiplayer servers at some point in the future, but I definitely want to get used to this update. I want to see how the fishing works, because I think fishing, there's a mini game, and then if something were to happen, I'm out in the water, I fall in, I get caught up with a shark. Apparently, there's a mini game to be able to escape a shark's grasp, but you got to swim fast once that happens, or once you see the shark, swim fast. So, another thing they added: moon cycles. They definitely have moon cycles now. I thought I saw like a crescent moon at one point, and then I haven't gone through a second night, so let's see what the second night is all about, and then go from there. Anything else that's been going on? I know I talked about Quavo a little bit in the pre-show. Quavo, I'm not even going to worry about that, because to me, that's nothing. He was trying to get out of there. She tried to swing on him. He was defending himself. She fell on her own volition and hit. It wasn't like he pushed her into the wall. I'm like, he was defending himself. So, somebody swing on you, you have a right to defend yourself. I'm all about equality. And if you swing on me, male or female, I'm going to defend myself. Plain and simple. How I defend myself will be according to what the situation is. If you don't have a weapon, I'm not going to try to punch you, but I'm going to deflect, parry. I'm going to put you in a hold to try to calm you down. But, if you got a weapon, then I'm going to have to have to amp it up a few notches and probably knock somebody out. Yeah, it ain't no running from a person with a weapon. Now, if I can get out of there, if there's a quick escape, it's a quick escape. But, he clearly was defending himself. Tell these people, stop swinging on folks. Then what happens after you swing on folks won't happen to you if you just let that man peacefully go. Or I think he was trying to get her out of there because it was his place. I don't know. Apparently, this was a fight over a Call of Duty match or something like that. It wasn't even like a real something to really spat over. I don't know. Maybe he was playing the game too much. I don't know. These things are just stupid. People arguing over games. I just went on a rant a little bit about Quavo and just that little bit, but I'm about to wind down because apparently I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff on AEW Dynamite, and I don't think there's anything else upcoming. I know I'll be back again next week because back to make sure that these shows are an hour long, and I believe I've accomplished everything I have wanted to accomplish in this season debut. I wanted to have music, but this thing continues to give me issues. It's almost like I want to go back. Also, I didn't even ask you guys, how's the quality? Because this is supposed to be in 1080p. And I want to make sure that you see me clear. Well, obviously, even with the last one, you can see me clearly, but it's better. It's more clear than what it was 3 weeks ago because I upgraded it, and so I can get 1080p, which I think when you pay as much as I'm going to pay, or I am paying, standard should be 1080p. Shouldn't be no 720. But anyway, that's what I got for that. But all right. So before I head out of here, anybody got any questions? Because as we do on First and Frame Rates, we will also do it here on What the Fuck Just Happened Q&A. Anybody got any questions? Any questions? Check my time. Anybody see anything? Also about that thing with what's going on with Stephen A. Smith and Russell Westbrook. Stephen A. Smith needs to shut the fuck up. Honestly, I don't offhand. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith needs to shut the fuck up. I understand you have your opinion about what you think of Russell Westbrook, but the moment Russell Westbrook defending himself was the moment you should just step back. But no, you want to continue to be a clown and in a backhanded way tell this man's wife, who's also a gifted athlete, an accomplished businesswoman, to basically what you said in that whole, I respect the fact, but no, you basically told her shut the fuck up. Because after you said what you said about being respectful and whatnot, you said what she said was irrelevant. That's some bullshit. If you're gonna just sit there and go through all that just to say that, that's highly disrespectful. So now he responded to Russell Westbrook's wife commenting on what Stephen A. said. And Stephen A. was like, "Man, I wish I had a woman that come to my defense and blah blah blah. You know, you played at UCLA. You're a highly respected athlete, also a very accomplished businesswoman. I I don't need to, I'm not going to come at you like that because you're very respectful and blah, 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 blah. But with that being said, when someone goes through the whole bullshit, being respectful beforehand, and then they say, well, with that being said, just wipe everything that person previously said beforehand because some bullshit is about to be said next. And that's exactly what Stephen A. Smith did. Now, it's his opinion what he thinks about Russell Westbrook not being, not really. Let's see, how would I say? Stephen A. Smith's opinion is based on the fact that, hey, I understand you've accomplished all these individual accolades and whatnot, but have you won anything? Like, have you won an NBA championship? That's the main thing. He looks at Oklahoma City, he looks at Houston, and now he's looking at the Wizards, and it's just like L to Stephen A. That's basically what he's saying. So, as dumb as Stephen A. Smith comes across, I understand what he's saying. But that was some bullshit. You didn't have to say that. Wow. He didn't have to say exactly what he said to kind of push his wife's comments aside. That was bullshit. You should have just left it at that and then just gone right into addressing Westbrook again without even saying what you said. So I don't think Westbrook's comment was a cop-out. I'm like, he's looking at Stephen A. Smith like, I don't care. Some people play in the NBA. Some people play sports. And they understand it's tough. Not everyone's going to win a championship. This is kind of like on the level of like amateur athletes trying to go pro. And they understand, yes, they're in it to be competitive. They're in it to, win it and be the top and be the best. But they also know that pool of people that accomplish that is very small. So you are in the pros, that pool to win a championship is a lot smaller. So Westbrook is reserved on the fact that, hey, from my interpretation, especially coming off his statement and just seeing what has played out, he's reserved in the fact that if I don't win a championship, so be it. That's the way it was meant to play out. I can't control that. I can only control how I act on the field or on the court. I can't control my teammates. I can influence the situation, but winning a championship is not just about me. But what I bring to the table is a lot. When you average a triple-double every freaking night for whatever team you play for, who averages a triple-double with 3 separate teams and even and apparently in breaking the triple-double record for the Wizards? Who does that? So I really and it's funny because like in my background, I've won championships before, just not on a professional level. I'm not gonna go there, but even at the level I won these that I was either I won these championships or on a championship winning team. It's tough. It's hard to get that done, and to be judged on something that very few get to accomplish in their career. At the end of the day. Hey, what's up, Subliminary? I see you. I must have to start this thing late because like 8:51 people just rolling through. But what's up, Subliminary? But and you do look at here's the thing. You do look at Russell's peers. LeBron's won a championship many times over. Kevin Durant won a championship. Even though a lot of people hated the way he did it because he left. He was a part of that 3-1 collapse And then the following year was like, you know what? I'm gonna go over there. So he was really he won his championships that way. And the way he's doing it now, I'm like that probably could lead to a championship. And the way that you see players like Bradley Beal are trying to win a championship or trying to play through their careers, one, they're not trying to move around a whole lot. Unfortunately, Westbrook has been on 3 different teams, but it's just like he's getting up there in age, and he understands that he can only do the individual stuff for so long. And the fact that there were 2 other players, sir. There was Kevin Durant, and there was also James Harden. There was the big 3. Remember that big 3? They all had a hand at that 3-1 collapse. So it wasn't just Westbrook. Everybody, it's funny. It's like at this point, because of this specific situation, everybody wants to point the finger at Westbrook when 2 others were involved in that collapse. So I don't buy that either. I think he's just. I believe he's just reserved in the fact that his window to win a championship is minuscule, especially being on the Wizards. So I look at the fact that he just is like, look, if I win a championship, I win a championship. I'm not going to pout if I don't win one. I'm not going to say I'm nothing I'm not going to say, my career didn't mean anything because I didn't win an NBA championship. I've won a championship before. I know what it feels like. I didn't win it. I may have not won one in the pros. It would be nice to win one in the pros, but you get to the pros, the chances are this small winning a championship. You get drafted onto a pro team. Your chances are dictated by the team you get drafted on, who the players are, who the coaches are, who the management is, and all that. That's a lot of factors that players go up against on a daily basis when they're playing professional sports. And then depending on the sport itself, hockey is probably one of the toughest sports to win a championship because when you get to the playoffs, you get into player skill, but then on that ice, it's about which way that puck bounces. I've always said this. It's like you can have the best team in the world and still lose. Hell, Golden State went 73-9, lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they lost that in 7, and they blew a 3-1 lead. So, like, that was basketball. A team could go cold in the 7-game series. In baseball, bats could go cold. We saw in the 2019 World Series, we've seen a team start off, win the first 2 games, lose the next 3, and then win the next 2. Nobody won a home game. And to seriously be judged by Stephen A. Smith. If it was somebody maybe more credible than Stephen A. Smith, I'd be like, you know what? I feel like they got a point. But Stephen A. Smith, sometimes we know at least 75% of the time when he goes off on somebody, he's trolling. He's doing it to get the ratings up because he's like one of the last few people that ESPN relies on to get ratings. Like everybody else on ESPN doesn't really draw ratings. He's the only one that could draw ratings based on some of the shenanigans and some of the stuff he says. Him and that coon-ass motherfucker, what's his face? Jason Whitlock. And I don't think Whitlock's on ESPN. He's someplace else, but still, Whitlock's coon. So it's definitely one of those things where it's just like, he's with Fox. Well, makes sense because he appeared on the Fox News and whatever. But coming from a person that has won a championship before, if I were drafted into the pros and got to a point in my career where I accomplished a whole lot individually and coming from the pedigree of winning championships, I probably wouldn't have that. I would probably have the same attitude as Westbrook. And I wouldn't even, and like, and Bills, even though you said it's corny, that's, not everyone thinks like you. I'm like, as far as, what a championship means to an individual. Some people, they're like, all right, if I win one, I win one. That's fine. That ain't the end all be all to my existence. I'm like, when Westbrook said what he said, I got what he said. It's not about for him. He's reserved in the fact that it's not about winning a championship. It's how many people I can impact, how many people I can influence on the court, off the court. My kids, my family, my friends, co-workers, associates, teammates, management, the world. And so if winning a championship is in the cards, it will happen. People think they have 100% control. Almost, I think fans think that players have all this control over whether their team's going to win a championship or not, and it's not in their hands. And he's just way ahead of the game as far as that's concerned. If he were to win championships, that's fine. Let's see. Actually, I don't have any rings in college because I didn't play throughout college. I got rings, rec league, high school. I have one semi-professionally, so that kind of counts. I have a semi-pro championship playing football. So, but I have a ton from baseball. So let me look what Bills is saying. It's a cop out. Can't have it both ways. Can't claim you want to win, but claim your legacy has nothing to do with championships. That's a two-faced statement. No, it isn't. I'm like, if it's, let's see, you can want to win a championship, but not let it be the end all be all of your existence. You can do that. It's a duality that we all face. Some people, they'll win, they want to win a championship and back up that fact with what they're saying about winning a championship. They will be talking about championship, this championship. That's what the way they are. That's the way, some people are. But there are other people that are like, okay, if I win a championship, then, that's fine. But I'll always view myself as a champion. I'm like, I carry that attitude. I always view myself as a champion. I've won championships before. And, this is, I think people really do hate when folks don't idolize something that they idolize. Like, there are folks that I think are jealous. That can't be in that situation to win that prize. So when they see a player kind of in their eyes take it for granted, they get all like they get up, not upset. They really become disgruntled over it. It's like, how is this player that is in a privileged situation not worried about if he wins a championship or not? I would be, if I was in his shoes, I'd be like, you know what? I got to win this championship. And it would cement my legacy and blah, 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 blah. And that's the way they would talk. But, not every athlete's going to talk like that. And and honestly, I don't care if an athlete talks either way. Honestly, if that's the way they were brought up, that's the way. It basically is just telling you, hey, the way I was raised is that, sports is not the end all be all. I'm just incredibly gifted and can do all these things to help others. But I'm like, playing basketball is a privilege. I'm like, he understands that not everyone's guaranteed to win the championship. He's not allowing this situation. I'm like, he's playing for the Washington Wizards. So that has a huge influence on whether he is closer to winning a championship than anything else. So it's really whatever at this point. Let's see. David Shepard from the DC semi-pro team. No. I played on a team in Baltimore called the Big Red. This was back when I was 29. It was like 2009 when this happened. So Bills is like, that's like me saying it's okay I didn't get signed to Sony. Shit, as far as I'm concerned, no, 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 no. I'm like, I'm like, it's not one for one what you just said, but it's no. I'm like, honestly, there are people that do that, and they can do that. They think they're part of, like, if I were to take it literally, there are people out here that like they buy a console and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a part of Sony. It's Sony forever. I'm always a part of Sony, even though Sony doesn't acknowledge their existence. Just like Kid Smooth, when and the fact that Xbox doesn't acknowledge his existence, he still is like Tim at Xbox. He can do that. That's the way he thinks. That's fine. Honestly, I don't have a problem with Westbrook and his attitude towards whether a championship, an NBA championship, is going to define him or his legacy. It's not worried about that. I think folks like Stephen A. Smith are more worried about that than Westbrook. Westbrook's like, if I win, I win. I'm gonna have fun while I'm doing this. Like, and that's the attitude I carried through my athletic career. I'm like, yeah, I'm incredibly gifted at what I do. I know there were opportunities to go to the next level. But to me, it's like if it was in the cards, it would have happened. I'm not gonna fret over the fact that I didn't get to play like collegiate football. Like, I cherish the fact that I at least won a championship in the sport at two different levels. I skipped college, one on the semi-pro level. But that was because it was in the cards for me to win the championship. I look at it like this: I come out on top no matter what. So Westbrook, I admire the attitude. I admire the fact that he's not worried about people getting mad, that he's not letting an NBA title define him. But I think it's incredibly realistic to think that way because he is on the Washington Wizards. Why would you be worried about a championship? You're not even in the playoffs. You got to think about that attitude at that point in time. So, yeah. I'm like, if he was like currently on a contender, I'm sure he probably would also say something a little bit different, like, "Oh, we're like right there, whatever." I think he understands his role as a player now. His role, he's. I'm like, at least on the Wizards, he understands. Like, look, these kids don't know nothing about the next level playing ball. If I could, positively influence these cats to play better by being an active example, like with myself and Beal, then if it's in the cards that this team makes it to the next level, gets into the playoffs, gets a deep run in the playoffs, gets to the championship, and wins that motherfucker, then great. If not, I have fun. I'm cool. Bills is not a participant. Whatever. I think people just making too much out of Westbrook's response as far as him not letting a championship define him. I'm like, we've had too many people grandstand. I'm gonna use your words, grandstand on a championship. And it's funny because MJ was not one of them. I bet you MJ had the same attitude. But he also had the attitude that I will slit your throat for one. He will slit your throat for a championship. But the fact that he always felt he was number one, in the back of his mind, it's like, look, very few people get a chance to win as much as I did. I won one in college, won 6 of them in the pros. Not a lot of people get to do that. Westbrook at least has won a championship in college. So he doesn't care what you think. He doesn't care what Stephen A. Smith thinks. I think Stephen A. Smith needs to calm his little ass down and relax. So preliminaries, like I had I know you made appreciation for Westbrook. He plays harder than most pros. So, he didn't win one in college? Well, it wasn't in the cards for him to win one in college. So I'm like, people just make it too much. I'm like, and Bills, aren't you the same person that was defending LeBron because people were judging him based on championships? And it was like weren't you talking about, he's been in the last several finals, so that should submit. Talk about participation trophy argument. Let's see what your response is to that. Because you were out here. You were out in these streets talking about, he's been in the last. I didn't say rings are all that matters. No, but you were arguing people that was throwing the rings matter argument at you about MJ versus LeBron. No. Because you, the moment somebody threw in a debate, MJ versus LeBron, when people threw the fact that Michael Jordan was 6-0 in the NBA Finals versus LeBron's whatever sub 500 record, you were like, no, that shouldn't be the main reason why. I was like, wow, we minimizing championships now, and look at what we're doing now, backing up Stephen A. Smith. But you did by making an argument that LeBron's been in the last several years versus a decade's worth of finals. But again, you were using it in an argument where people are coming at you about MJ being better than LeBron, and the championships were being used against LeBron, and you defended against those championships being won by MJ over the ones that were won by LeBron. And plus, when was LeBron ever asked this question? Hold on. Has Stephen A. Smith ever asked LeBron this question? Because remember, there was a time we were all critical of LeBron because he couldn't get over the hump. Remember, his first final trip, he got swept. And then that second one, when he was with Miami, the second time he got there, they had they had a 2-0 lead and they blew that. So, I mean, I know I was being critical. I'm on record after that series against Dallas questioning whether he could lead a team to win the championship. And ultimately he proved a lot. He proved everybody wrong. Yeah, preliminaries like Wizards without Westbrook is all bad. I really don't know what it is about the Wizards, but the fact that the moment they stopped playing defense is the moment that they really became bad. So, and that happened in 2014. That happened after the 2014 season because everybody in DC was talking about, we need to shoot more 3-pointers. And that we sacrifice defense to shoot more 3-pointers. And here we are. Players come in to Washington with the attitude, with this win by the 3 and die with no defense. So just look at that. All right, so let me see what Gold is saying. So meanwhile, Westbrook trivializes it. Nope, Stephen A. Smith trivializes it. Remember, Stephen A. Smith was on the attack, not Westbrook. This isn't close to the same thing. Let's see. Russell Westbrook trivialized winning while claiming to leave it out on the floor because he's tired of hearing legit criticism. Is it really legit if he's the one that's leaving it out on the floor? If he's averaging a triple-double, he's doing an awful lot. LeBron was doing an awful lot too, even while he was struggling to win championships. So no one claimed rings define him, so the LeBron comparison is terrible. So you basically just answered my question. So if no one asked him this question, then no one even knows what type of answer he would have given. Wonder why they didn't ask him that question. They can ask Westbrook that question, and Westbrook actually gives him a response. And because it's a response that no one likes, that's when everybody get all uppity about it. So I think it's kind of funny. So this is about sidestepping. How is it sidestepping criticism? He answered the question. I swear, I used to say this to another one of our friends. It's just like you asked me a question, I answered it, and now you're disregarding it because you didn't like the way I answered it. I tend to see that a lot in exchanges these days, where people they get an answer, and because they don't like the answer, and it's funny because just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not the correct answer. It's the correct answer because you're asking a question that opens it up to subjectivity, and when that happens, it's whatever. So I'm not tripping over Westbrook's statement in response to Stephen A. Smith's crackhead antics about this. So it's not liking or disliking it. It's an assessment of his answer, which you do all the time. Yeah, I do it. That's why I don't have a problem with either one. Like I engage in that because that's what we're involved in. We're in front of a camera. I know people will probably look at this. They'll probably, they'll probably critique a lot of the things I'm saying. You're critiquing what I'm saying right now. So let's call it 100 for that. So that's what happens. But I'm okay with his answer. I'm okay with whatever answer he would have given because it was subjective in nature. So it's like, look, live your life. Don't let these people trip you up into thinking that you have to respond in a way that they see fit. It's you respond in the way you see fit. They'll say, man, we're supposed to be brothers. Here we go again. All right, let's see. Hold up. You do because you claim folks are pushing their priorities on him. They aren't. He needs to stay consistent. Wait a minute. But in you saying that, aren't you saying the same thing you just said? He needs to stay consistent. So now, because you want him to stay consistent, that's what he needs to do? Okay. Definitely had a triple-double with the response. Sidestep. Whatever. Boo. Boo. That sounds like sour grapes to me. It sounded like you weren't. I'm like, you weren't satisfied. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, you weren't satisfied with the answer. Nothing. Neither one of us can do about his answer. So I'm like, he's the one making. He brought up a good point. Generational wealth. I think that's the only thing I would probably disagree with because if he's not investing in land, then I don't think it's so much generational. I think we're past the point of making generational wealth because if we can't invest in land that we own, then it's really just money that's going to keep being recycled into the machine. That's basically That's the only part that I was like, you know what, you may want to leave out the generational aspect. I understand that's how you feel, but when you're gone, your house that will be gone too. If you can make that money, invest in land that will stay with you for generations, then we're talking about generational money. But if we're talking about just lessons learned and no land, then that money is not so generational. But he's doing all he can to win a championship. Just because people don't like how he said it and expressed it. That's what folks need to relax. So it feels like, oh, we don't hold folks accountable for being consistent. The consistency a lot of times comes in with the attitude. I'm like, if we've watched Westbrook for quite some time, he's always been inconsistent. So he's being consistent in a way you're saying he's being inconsistent, which to me means he's being very consistent with what I've noticed about him this whole entire time. Dude is the guy that gets rejected on the street and says, I didn't want her. I didn't want her anyway. Well, I mean, hey, that's what it is sometimes. I'm like, hey, it wasn't meant for me to get her. I didn't want her anyway. It's just somebody showed me a sign. Like, hey, the NBA championship, maybe it wasn't for me. Well, maybe I didn't want it anyway. There's probably other things going on that I can deal with. So, all right. So we definitely had fun with the Westbrook versus Stephen A. Smith subject. So I'm gonna wrap it up here because it was fun to come back on after about a couple of weeks and do a solo cast. I know I'm constantly on First and Frame Rates, chopping it out with the fellas every Tuesdays and Thursday nights. But it's nice to come on here and do my own thing. So, I appreciate everybody that came through tonight. Definitely talked about, the important things, which were the Snyderverse and folks over at batinthesun, dying is easy. And, leave it open at the end. I didn't want to address certain things, but saying goes, Audible. Things happen. So appreciate Bills for being here. Appreciate Couple Lemonade for being here. Being a part of the entertaining part of the show. And hopefully you guys tune in next week. I'm gonna try to figure out this music thing. I know VF was talking about trying to get music intros for the show. I would like to figure this thing out because remember, I was the one that had music play during the pre-show before the show. Also, I was the one that was also on Twitch before. You see where I'm going here. I'm like, to me, I think it is a lighthearted jab at VF because he has a shirt. And hey, when are we getting our merch, by the way? Because it's been some time now. It's like I'm wearing this shirt. This has nothing to do with First and Frame Rates. This has nothing to do with what the fuck just happened. This is like an INC, which is commitment. I need merch because eventually I want to go on some of these other shows and cross promote. And I need merchandise. Need it. So I know you'll get it to me at some point in time. You'll get it to Bills at the appropriate time, which will probably be in 2077 when we get all this merchandise. So anyway, Again, preliminary bills. Thank you for hanging out, and we'll do this again next week. Um, just go back and just let you guys know again. Oh, who said what? Yeah, do that. Just do that. All right. So if you want to catch me on Twitter, find me here, DJ81. If you want to check out my writing and you want to see the playlist, the YouTube playlist of what the fuck just happened per episode, go to my blog site, dj81.org. I know this is kind of like all over the place except for the beginning. The beginning was more organized, but hey, whatever. Find me at YouTube. There it is right there. For those folks that are on YouTube, you're going to find me on Twitch. Boom. There I am right there. So, and then again, I'm 1/3 of a panel that talks about sports and sports video gaming and video gaming in general. It's myself, BF Bills, who's currently on vacation. And usually go live Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've been on CPT time for the last couple of episodes, but players fuck up. But anyway, we'll be back. We'll be live tomorrow, multi-streaming. That was another thing that I was doing first before we decided to do it again. But yeah. So anyway, it's good to be back. So I'll be back again next week. Hopefully you guys tune in, and we will call it a night. You guys take care. Peace.